Episode 10 of The Agency starts with Martian on his way into the agency. However, there's a problem. Owen rings and reveals that the team are in place, but they've reported much greater numbers than before on the ground, making a rescue that much more difficult. Martian decides to move the kill zone up 300 meters, but before he can continue this line of thinking, a car comes crashing in from the side and knocks Martian off his motorcycle and to the ground. We then cut back to earlier in the day. Everybody at the agency is on guard and preparing for the most stressful day as the operation to get Coyote back is well underway. Naomi is angsty about Danny's operation too, as she's now flown out to Iraq. Whilst there, Danny is questioned by the authorities, who begin taking her things apart and trying to make her crack. Eventually she is released, but all that training has certainly paid off. Henry has received word from the Horn of Africa, CTTF. Samia is being kept in Cobra Prison, which is, as Martian himself puts it, is an absolute hellhole. The thing is, there's no political leverage at the agency for her, so it's not even like they can bring in undercover agents or try to bargain for Samia to leave. Instead, Martian heads out and speaks to Dalaga, the African ambassador. He offers up British passports and other rewards in exchange for Samia's life and freedom. However, all of this is being watched by James Richardson. He has his new lackey, Robinshaw, plan their next move, intending to see just how far Martian is willing to go to get his beloved back. Speaking to Richardson, Martian offers up Dalaga, but that's not what the man wants. He wants Martian to become a double agent. This would mean he needs to betray his own country, but conversely, he'd be able to get Samia out. With no other choice, he says yes, but Richardson decides to leave it for now, not sure whether he can trust the guy or not. In the basement of the agency, Owen is brought in to oversee the operation to get Coyote back. He's not quite sure what to do, so he rings Martian, and this is where the opening scene comes into play. Martian is rushed to hospital after his accident, where we learn he's dislocated his shoulder, has broken his arm and 2 ribs, along with sporting a bleed in the brain too. Naomi heads to the hospital and waits, but in reality, this is all a ruse. Turns out he just has a few cuts and bruises, along with being knocked out. Richardson is there and he questions Martian in private. Turns out he was the one who hit him on the road and intended to do so he could question him alone without distraction. This is where all those interview scenes come into play throughout the season, and why he so desperately needs to keep his cool. Back at the agency, Owen takes Martian's advice and moves the kill zone for the operation. What he didn't bank on was one of the Ukrainians smuggling a gun in, prepared to take out Defense Minister Chekhov while sacrificing himself too. One of the Felix team does end up shot, but it's anarchy. The Felix team decide to kill the Russians, taking their comrade on a helicopter and then leaving a grenade inboard and blowing it sky high. The convoy eventually hit the kill zone, and the team move in and attack. The operation is a success and they manage to get Coyote back. Among the deceased is the general, while the Felix team make it out in one piece. Well, 2 of them anyway. At the hospital, Poppy and Naomi show and are there to greet Martian when he wakes up. However, this isn't the end of it. It turns out Martian is now going to be operating as a double agent, having passed Richardson's test and needing to get Samia out. All you have to do is keep a secret, he says, setting up season 2 as Martian heads back to work, with the intent on getting himself some big promotions along the way. The agency has been one of the best espionage thrillers released in quite some time, and this finale proves why. It's clear that Danny's operation is going to be the focus in season 2, although she could actually end up going the same route as Coyote and wind up captured, needing to be rescued. However, in this finale, we see the operation is a success and the agency managed to get their man out, although it's obviously touch and go for a while. Martian's interrogation now makes a lot more sense, and he's about to betray his country and everybody he's worked for, just to get Samia out. On the flip side, he could turn on Richardson and be playing into his hands too, giving the agency the information they need to take him out, which definitely makes this something to chew over. In the meantime, the series has been a solid watch and there's been plenty of standout moments along the way too. With the show already greenlit for another season, it'll be interesting to see exactly what direction this one takes next.